a lot of guys don't. They find their girl in a bar somewhere down south, and they're cutthroat women, and they're looking to get their bag, and they're looking to help their family, and nothing's going to stop that. Good morning, YouTube. This is Zach with Savage Traveling on another adventure through the Isan countryside today. I just wanted to talk a little bit about activities that you can do if you're just, thinking about moving up here with your Thai girlfriend or wife. There's not much. I mean, beyond the Mukata restaurants and the Isan music spots where you go and eat, and there's live music and it's Isan music, and I love doing it, but it's not something we do every week or very frequently. This is a lot of what you got to look forward to. I mean, I spend a lot of time just riding around out here and hoping that the road I pick goes through, because a lot of times you end up like this, which my map said this went through to the highway, and I was hoping for pavement the whole way. And the thing is if you're coming up here, because there's really no other reason that I don't think a lot of Falang would come up here, especially out here. Like I said, we're not far from Khon Kaen, so you see a lot of foreigners in Khon Kaen, and that's, I see why people come there. They come to work, they come to get away from Bangkok and to see a more Thai city in Thailand, you know what I mean? It's the second, Khon Kaen's the second biggest city in Isan outside of Karat. And it's a good city. I like going there. We spent part of the day there yesterday doing shopping and stuff. But if you really plan to come up here and live with your wife or girlfriend, your options for entertainment are limited. Like I said, we have Mukata restaurant, which I don't know if people consider that entertainment or not. I mean, it's entertaining to me because sometimes it's the only thing we do that day. And then like I said, you got Isan music restaurants, which are cool. I enjoy doing that a lot. I like Isan music. It's a totally different world than what I grew up on. But like with us, we don't own a vehicle. Well, we own a Scoopy and a Honda Wave. We don't own a car. And we've talked about it several times. And it would be cool to have a car, but the added expense right now, it really isn't in our budget. And it's cool. I'm cool with that. But if you really want a car, if you're going to be up here long term, so you can travel, so you can go travel and do things, because if you came up here to stay busy, you're going to have a bad time. I mean, beyond like working around the house, hitting the market, you can go fishing, and like what I do is I just go explore and ride and just try to capture the real essence of this part of the country, because I find it absolutely stunning and beautiful. And like I said, even on a boring day, I'm totally happy just being bored, you know what I mean? Because I'm not really ever bored. This head of mine runs 5,000 miles a minute, so there's always something going on upstairs here. And but I could see other people having, other people not loving this at all. I mean, because the first month or two I spent up here, I thought, what am I doing with my life? I love my wife and all, but like, we're gonna have to move, like we can't stay here. And then as time went on, I realized that this is amazing. Like, it really is. Like, it's chill, relaxed. I can't say people aren't up in your business, because people are up in your business. They have nothing else to do but talk about each other. So it's no different than any small town in the world. You're going to, especially if you're the white man of the village, you're going to get talked about, you're going to get stared at. I mean, I've been coming here for 2 years, and the people on my street stare at me like they've never seen me before. And I've been seeing Swadee Cup. And people stare at me like they've never seen me before, and I've seen these people every day that I've came here. And this is the second year I've been coming now. And I mean, out of 2 years, I've been here close to a year, you know what I mean, in all those times. So it's just something to think about, now I understand you're coming if your wife or girlfriend asked you to, if you really care about her, you're gonna, you know, come up here and live for cheap. Especially like me, I don't make a ton of money to do this. Like, I work part of the year in the United States. I have a rental, and it's not enough to even stay here full time. You know what I mean? Like, with just my rental, we tried the first winter I came up here, not last winter, but the winter before, we tried, and I don't make enough money to stay here full time with just my rental property. And we were hoping it would be different, but like, so we like to have fun. We like to go out. We like to go to the city. We're getting ready to take a trip to Chiang Mai here in a few days. We're just waiting on a few things from Shopee that we ordered, a couple selfie sticks and some other stuff, so we can try to, you know, capture it on film. But you know, and we're taking the bus. It's a 12-hour bus trip, because one-way flights are between 2,500 baht and 3,300 baht. So for the price of round-trip flights, we can, for the price of one flight, we can both take round-trip bus tickets up there. And being that we have nothing else going on, it's a good chance to see everything in between Khon Kaen and her village, or I mean Khon Kaen and Chiang Mai. And you know, that's the decisions we have to make, because like I said, I don't have a pension. I'm not getting some kind of settlement money. I'm not, nothing, you know, what I have is mine, and it's not very much. But for these winters when I come up, you know, it's just enough to work all year and then come up for a few months in the winter and just stay here like I live here, which, you know, one day I will. Or, you know, somehow I figure out how to make some money with this YouTube or some other online business that I've dabbled in. I'm just not consistent, if you want to know the backstory on that. But right now it's not the biggest thing in the world, because I'm only 41, she's only 36. So we're like not really looking to retire. And the fact is until I can make really good money over here, I'll be going home to make really good money. You know what I mean? It's just the nature of the beast. I like having money to spend. I don't like being, you know, limited if I don't have to. And at this point in the game, I can go home and make plenty of money to be here. But anyways, back to what I'm saying. I can see how a lot of people would not, you know, their girlfriend, wife, I mean, in that case, their girlfriend asks them to come up to a place like this, and you hear a ton of horror stories about the families trying to take advantage of the people, or they just can't, or the you know, their girlfriend's family isn't as well off as others, and they are, you know, crapping in a hole in the ground, or they don't have aircon. And you know, if we didn't have aircon, I couldn't do it. If I couldn't have the aircon to sleep, there's no way I could do this, like, at all. And that was you know, that was the one thing that I asked my wife, well, my girlfriend at the time, like, hey, are you sure you have aircon? I know you're telling me this, but I absolutely need to know, because I can't do it without it. Like, I can hang out in the day in the shade without it all year. But let's go back to this temple. My arm's getting tired. I need to switch arms. And then another question you want to ask your Thai girlfriend is there anybody in the village that, you know, thinks that she is theirs? Because I've heard bad stories about that. Now, I didn't have any personal experience with that. My girlfriend or my wife is pretty truthful and honest. But yeah, there's like some things you want to go over with them. Like, if you can't live without air conditioning and they don't have air conditioning, I wouldn't even consider coming up here. Definitely ask your Thai girlfriend if anybody else thinks that she's your girlfriend or whatnot, or that they're her girlfriend. And because that's an important thing too. But as you can tell, I see all the those are the deceased over there, their little shrines where their ashes are kept. See, I don't know if these people are freaking out because I pulled in or not. They might come up and say something to me, or they might not. You don't get bothered up here. Now you get stares and you get sweaty cup. You know, people are pretty friendly. They're not out to get you. Now it literally depends on your girlfriend or wife, what kind of people she associates herself with. I got lucky. A lot of guys don't. They you know, they find their girl in a bar somewhere down south, and they're cutthroat women, and they're looking to get their bag, and they're looking to help their family, and nothing's going to stop that. And that is definitely something you want to be on the alert for, because so many guys get taken advantage of. They get up here, and you know, it's not the sick buffalo thing. Like, that's kind of a joke. I mean, it may have been more relevant 20 or 30 years ago, but you know, they don't really use the buffalo for farming anymore. So it's not, they have tractors, you know what I mean? They don't, it's not, you know, their family's not going to starve if the buffalo's sick. Like, my wife's father keeps buffalo, but you know, he sells them, but therefore it's more of a cultural thing. They don't use them out here very much. Now, some people still do, but it's just not as big part of their agriculture it used to be. So, you know, if you hear that, you know, you probably should run. It's one of those things, like, you know, they're out here drying their rice. Like, they don't, you know, this is a temple. It's, you know, they don't, he smiled at me. Like, I greeted him, Sawadee Cup, and that's it, you know. Like, beyond the stares I get in the village, and every village I ride through, they're still really friendly people. And it's, like I said, if you ever have the opportunity to visit somebody up here, or your wife or girlfriend is from here, don't be scared to come up. Like, I know so many guys won't leave Pattaya, and that's crazy to me. I mean, I love Pattaya like everybody else, but you know, after 4 or 5 days, it's time to come back home. You know what I mean? Like, get me to the countryside so I can relax, and I don't have to have, you know, Leo beers shoved in my face. You know what I mean? Which, you know, I like a Leo beer shoved in my face, don't get me wrong. But, and then, you know, you gotta, and Pattaya is expensive compared to up here. Now, Pattaya is a very cheap place to go and do a vacation. It can be really expensive though if you're not aware, or you ignore the signs of somebody trying to take advantage of you. And you know, it's just calm, peaceful. You know, they want to worry about their agriculture and their temples up here, and you know, and the market. Like, that's the big things up here, is the farm, the temple, and the market. And if that's too slow for you, you're going to have a bad time. Like, I come from a small town in Indiana that was mainly funded by agriculture. Now, it's not as much as it was as when my parents grew up. More people, you know, all the farms have consolidated a lot more since they were children. So it's not as mainly based on agriculture as it used to be. But this place really is. Like, my wife's grandmother was, you know, helping her other grandchild with the rice fields. Like, she guarded the rice while they would go work at the 7-Eleven distribution during the day, and she would be guarding the rice during the day, like, well, making sure nobody steals it, keeping the birds away, you know, raking it out to get it dry, and then if it rained, she'd cover it up. She's 83 years old. She'd be out there for 10-12 hours a day, and I mean, that's all she knows though. And a lot of guys from the West, it's just, you know, it was never part of their life. So for me, I kind of relate to the people up here, because I can see how where I grew up was very similar to this, you know, some years back. You know, I'd have to say this is the 70s or 80s in the United States, of where they're at in their coming up into being a more prosperous country. So like I said, if you're not ready for all that, I would, you know, stay in Pattaya or Bangkok, because so we have a friend, his wife's from the same village as my wife is, and he'll come up here for holidays, and then they stay in a hotel either in Khon Kaen or at this Wishing Tree, which Singha, the beer company, owns. It's not far from our village. Or they'll get a little resort out here where they have the things they need, but they won't stay in the village. Like he does not like this way of life. If you made it this far, please hit that like button. Please subscribe. It's free. I'm going to be up here till January or so, maybe longer, depending on a few things, and many more to come. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace.